Okay, so this is Patty Strong. Her and Darren are from Kansas. We actually met them 4 years ago or something like that at the Back to the Land Festival in Tennessee, and we've been best buds ever since. And so her husband Darren is the one that did the chicken processing downstairs this morning, and so the meat from those chickens, Randy and I raised those chickens, and we're going to can some of the meat up. There's all, like, those chickens are so big. The two that he left whole are the size of turkeys. They're Cornish cross. I've never raised those.
Oh, that's how big it is.
They're huge. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna do that. I'm Shelly Randolph. Jason and I, not my husband, that's my husband. Everybody they think that Jason and I are married. We're like, no, I would kill him. But Jason and I do the festival. We're the coordinators of the festival and all that stuff. We have KSL, which is Kentucky Sustainable Living. We do classes throughout the year teaching sheep processing, pig processing, how to make plant guilds. I mean, just all whatever people are asking for.
What?
Plant guilds. Like you have a tree, and then you put it's a food forest. So you have a tree that produces fruit. You have bushes that produce berries. You can plant garlic and herbs and all the stuff around it. And it's all symbiotic and lives off of each other and all that stuff. And it's not like an orchard because it looks more natural. It mimics nature. Okay, so supplies that you need, and you jump in whenever you need to, because sometimes I'm not right. It rarely happens, but sometimes I don't know. So for this, we have, and this is really, we got these, Jason and I bought these for the festival because it's hard to have a big pressure canner, right, when we don't have an oven and all that stuff. And then when I started using it, I fell in love with this thing. I told Randy, I said, I want another one. And so he got me another one for Christmas. They only run like $100. And, but they only hold 4 quart jars or 5 pint jars, which is not a lot, but they're so stinking easy to use. I just love it.
Watch the gauge.
Yeah, you don't have, it's super easy.
Well, and you can get 3 of them for what you get one of the big canners.
You can.
So now you got 12 quarts instead of 7.
And these do not heat up your kitchen like a big canner does, and all the steam and all of that stuff. So when you get these, it comes with a tray that goes in there for your jars to sit on. It also comes with this. So if you have the short little jelly jars, you can stack them double. Put this in between them and you can get more in there. It comes with a 10-pound weight that's already on here, and then this is a 15-pound weight. For the chicken we need 10, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna check and make sure.
So what do you do if it's 12?
It doesn't.
12, they don't use
This book, it's either 10 or 15.
I think the potatoes are 10 or 12. But maybe not, it's 10 or 12.
Some of it has to be adjusted to your altitude,
Right, yeah.
but most of it's 10 or 15.
So how would you do 12? I didn't know there was 12. I've never panned anything that was 12.
I think the potatoes were 12.
It was 10.
Maybe so.
You can look it up in here when I'm done with my book.
I don't understand.
So some other tools. This is your canning Bible. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are people out there who do like Rebel canning. They do, or they call it heritage canning, Amish canning, all of that kind of stuff. Basically, especially with Amish canning, it's not using pressure canning. They'll like do it, if it's supposed to process for 90 minutes, they might have to process it for 3 hours or something like that. And what you do in your kitchen, it's your kitchen, your rules. I don't even care. I just won't ever put that on my YouTube channel or teach that. That's not, I don't want anybody getting sick. If you're a first-time canner or just starting out doing this, this is your Bible. This is what you go by. So in this book, the chicken is $3.98. Actually, $400. It says that we've got bone-out chicken. These are all breast in here. We've got quart jars. They're going to process at 10 pounds. We're going to leave an inch head space, and they process for 90 minutes. So, some other tools that you're going to need. A jar lifter, because those jars are hot and you don't want to burn yourself. This is a thing to help you pick up your lids if you're picking them up out of a sterilized thing. This is going to help you with headspace and to get air bubbles out doing this. This is just a ladle in case we need it, but I don't think well, we might. I don't know. I told Sam to bring tongs, and I don't see any tongs, so we're probably going to need a ladle. And then a funnel, and then, of course, our meat. We need jars. Jars have already been sterilized. What else? Am I forgetting anything, Patty? All right. So, we have big breasts in here. Patty and I have diced up most of it, but we're going to cut up the last one. I thought we were going to add water to it, but she told me we're dry canning it, or raw packing it, so we're not doing that. She said it would make its own water. She knows more about meat canning than I do, so we're doing Patty's thing. This is the size of them. They were 4 months old. They were huge.
4 months, yeah, I don't.
And that was the hen, not the roosters.
Yeah, but still, the problem is after 2 months old, you start losing them. Their legs go out,
Yeah.
they die of heart attack.
Yeah.
We kill the roosters at 7 weeks, and the little pullets at 8 weeks. Because generally we've got so many. That's kind of a job,
Yeah.
you know. So we kill half of them at
Yeah.
the roosters at 7 weeks, and the pullets the next.
We do about what, 100 a year?
Yeah, we kill 100. Well, there's 14 of us on the place, so we eat a lot of chicken.
Right.
But yeah, after 8 weeks, the feed conversion goes down drastically, and you start losing. Your death loss goes up drastically.
We bought these. We had never raised Cornish cross. We have dual purpose birds, and that's usually what we process. And they don't have the meat mass that those do, but those eat a lot of feed, and they just get really big really fast. And it was funny because one of the people in our group, I was talking to, we bought them for the festival because I don't know, it was like February, and I asked Jason, I said, do you have chickens that you're wanting to get rid of? And he was like, nope. And I said, I don't either. So I run to Rural King and I buy Cornish cross because I know they grow fast. So, you know, we had to have them for the festival, and that's why it went 4 months. But I was talking to the Kowalskis that are over on the other side over there, and I said they eat so much food, like, oh my God, and they're nasty. Like, they're not like my other chickens, they're just nasty. And he goes, how many times a day are you feeding them? And I said, twice. And he was like, stop, don't do that. You only feed them once a day. He's like, yeah, we'll get humongous if you feed them twice a day. So they got upset when I quit feeding them twice a day. We would go outside. Anytime they saw me or Randy, they'd be like, ah, 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 losing their mind. So,
Well,
yeah.
I'll tell you, we've done them for 5. We've raised hundreds and hundreds of them, and they don't get up and walk around like a chicken. They will sit literally on their breast with their head in a feeder. So for the first week or 10 days while you've got them in the brooder with the lights on, then full feed them. And
Yeah.
then after that, feed them in a feeder, full feed them, but turn the lights out at night so they don't eat. They only eat during the daytime that way.
Yeah.
And keep bedding down. Every other day you got to put fresh straw down because they'll just lay there on their breast.
And they lose their feathers.
And well, they don't grow very many feathers.
Right.
And that's deliberate. That's part of the breed. But also they'll start getting little ulcers on their breast.
Oh.
Yeah. So you got to put fresh straw down every other day. I mean, they're fantastic for meat, but they're not chickens.
Right.
I call them Franken chickens.
Yeah, you're right.
We had ours in
Put half of that
a
in
chicken
there.
tracker, and I'd get out there and move them every other day to a different spot.
Yeah, and that
I'll
would
tell you
work
what,
too.
that was our best investment, was that
But
chicken
The,
flanker.
the hardest the problem
Absolutely.
with that is they don't want to
So
get up
many
and
of us
walk.
have helped.
So now you're almost getting in there and kicking them along to move
Start
them.
to finish.
So I just keep them in the barn
Yeah.
and put fresh
So-
bedding down.
Can you do me a favor? Yeah. Can you go down there and get me a couple paper towels? There's a bunch of paper towels down there.
Shrink wrap them, but I'd rather do
The
that.
vacuum.
We're gonna, the legs and thighs and the wings down there, we're gonna vacuum seal those. And then actually the birds are too big to fit in my chamber sealer. So I'm gonna have to take them to Jason's house because he has a bigger one and put them in. He's got bigger bags in it because they're the size of turkeys. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy how big they get.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are gonna add seasonings to these. We went last night to Walmart and got, Randy likes, he puts this, when he makes chicken and dumplings, this kickin' chicken, it makes it a little bit spicy and we really like it that way. So we're gonna do two jars with kickin' chicken and 2 jars with lemon herb chicken. So, if you wanna massage that one, and I'll do this one. I know that's in the way, let me get this over here.
I like massaging breasts.
That's a good idea.
You are on my, don't do that.
That would be good after a scan if you want to do quick fajitas or something.
Oh yeah.
That's what I like about the beef is, beef stroganoff, beef and noodles or whatever. You open a jar and you have dinner in just a few minutes.
Well, you can use a lot tougher cuts of meat
Yeah.
Yes.
because it just melts in your mouth like
Yep.
you can.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. I'm just thinking we may only want like.
She was saying earlier about
Hmm.
buses. You never know.
Remember, you gotta pack them in that
Bag.
Yeah.
So that right there giving the flavor,
Oh, we've done it more.
that way when you open them up and use them,
Their
they
flavor.
already have the flavor in there and they won't be bland, you just add the
Yeah.
other seasoning.
Because it's gonna cook in the pressure canner, so this is gonna cook into it.
Yes, I mean, we can still put more in the thing when we make chicken and dumplings or,
Yeah. So I'll get a little bit extra heat in here.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna fill up our jars to an inch headspace. I made 2 parts. Are you gonna be able to get all that in there? If it's a little
I'm
bit left
gonna
over.
go push it. I haven't mashed it
I
down.
said, she doesn't like I do.
Just gonna cram
Can
it
you
in
tell who's
there.
the can no longer?
Yes, she has been.
Well, it shrinks so much, that when we get it done, it's like,
Yep.
oh, I got half a jar.
This.
Yep. Nope, this good. See your pocket, I can shove some.
Put your lid on, you screw it down finger tight. Sure y'all know that.
so how did Patty wind up with more?
We could add some of it to this. I got a little bit of room in mine. I don't care. It's more flavor, right? I don't know how y'all are, but I hate the way chicken feels.
I always look about that.
But see, when I'm doing mine at home, I never wear.
Really? Oh, I have to wear.
I don't like ugh.
I usually wear gloves like or fish.
You need to put some over here just a little bit more. There you go.
We're good. Yep, we're good.
Alright. So again, I'm gonna clean off the jars.
That's good.
It does look good, doesn't it? water that I thought we needed, and you told me we didn't.
Oh. But you don't care.
So, you put, it doesn't matter if you're doing pints or quarts, you put 8 cups of water in this, hot water. Put these in.
I'm not listening to you.
Alright. So the way this works, in the fall canning book, you have high acid foods and low acid foods, like tomatoes versus, you know, chicken. Chicken is a low acid food. Most meats are. So you're going to start out by locking your lid, right like that. You want to make sure that this thing on the top has got, so it has exhaust and then airtight. You want it set on exhaust right now. Right like there. And then I'm going to hit low. I'm going to hit 90. I'm going to hit start. So then it's going to start building up pressure in there. And when it gets to the point that it's like building up pressure, you know how like your regular pressure canner, you have to let it go 10 minutes or something like that. So it will tell you when it gets to that point, it'll say E10, and it will start counting back down. And when it gets to E0, you switch that thing on the top to airtight, and you let it go. When it's done, it'll do the whole canning thing. When it's done, it'll beep at you, and it beeps at you at every step to let you know that you need to do that. But when it's done, it turns itself off. It starts cooling down and everything. So the book says that you need, depending on how long it cooked for, you need to let it cool down 1 to 2 hours before you open it. I mean, if it was something really short, you could probably get by with an hour. And I have opened it up, like I did corn last weekend, opened it up in an hour, and it wasn't like it was fine. There wasn't a lot of steam. But with this, I'll let it sit for 2 hours before I open it, because corn was like 55 minutes. It was no big deal. So, yeah. But that's all you do. I mean, that thing is so stinking easy to use. I absolutely love it.
I've never canned corn. I always freeze it, just because.
This is the first year I've canned it.
His
Yeah.
mom used to can. They used to can 100 quarts of everything. But the canned corn was just tasted like the canned corn you buy in the store. Is it like that?
I don't. This is the first year I've canned it, and I haven't opened it yet.
It's
I
not
will
like the
say
fresh-
yes.
Oh, it is?
Yes, especially when you're using the pressure canner, it's the same.
Okay. Then I'll just keep freezing it.
I know that the corn that we bought, I can't think of what. It's not like peaches and cream, but it's a super sweet. It's delicious corn, and so I'm anxious to try it when I can. But I'm on this diet with chronically healthy, and I can't eat corn right now. So yeah,
Well,
I'm
I'm not
excited
supposed
to
to
try
have,
it.
I do low carb, high fat, and I'm not supposed to have grains or corn.
Right.
But
Yeah. But we had, we bought 12, and then I went back and got 3 more dozen. So we put up, I want to say, we canned 6 dozen ears of corn, and then we froze 9. And used our chamber sealer to do all of that, to freeze all that. So, yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. I have a question before. I have
what do we have?
Oh, bowl of palms and.
Counting down 10 minutes now.